his life.
Make sure you do some comments without knowing it.
Somebody already quoted Winston Churchill, but I want to quote my president, Mr. Donald J. Trump, who said, God bless him, who said, America will never become a socialist country. Thank you.
No socialism. Not for this black man. They tried that in the 1860s, and
You want to do mine then? I don't have much of a viewer.
there's an old saying that we need to tell the socialists. It's a country saying. It's don't slap a man that's chewing tobacco. You guys ever heard of getting loomered?
Woo! Woo!
Oh man, so I was following Twitter and I saw this absolute warrior out there, and I was like, who is this dude? And it turned out it was Laura Loomer. Yeah, she got kicked off social media, got kicked off Twitter for just speaking the truth. Did I mention I got kicked out of Fox? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey guys.
Hey, by the way, before I bring Laura
up,
there are people circulating that are going to help us try to fund this rally, because we paid for this all out of our pockets, Melissa and I, and the Tea Party community. So if you can help out, great. There are lots of vendors out here that are selling patriotic wares. Please
Tea Party
get
events.
the cards. Follow these guys as well. And most of all, jot down americasvoicenews.com. You're going to remember that because I'm writing shows for them. And I promise you, we are going to absolutely send the left scrambling. Anyway, Laura stayed with me and my family last night. Got a chance to really get to know her. She's an amazing young woman. There was an Army guy that once said to me that I had a pair the size of Texas. And if that's the case, Laura's got a pair the size of Alaska. Because she is absolutely a killer when she goes out there. She's going to talk a lot about the work that she does. I hope you'll support her. Help me bring up Laura Loomer.
Woo! Oh, Laura.
We love you, Laura.
Hello, thank you so much for coming today. My name is Laura Loomer. I'm a conservative investigative journalist, and I'm actually originally from Tucson, Arizona, so it's really great to be back in my home state. I now live in
Gilbert, Sandy,
Florida, where I actually went to college. And prior to doing independent journalism, I was actually undercover working for Project Veritas. How many of you guys know James O'Keefe? Oh yeah! I worked for Project Veritas for about 3 years, where I spent 2 of those years undercover in the Hillary Clinton campain during the 2016 election, exposing voter fraud and corruption within the Democrat Party. When I went independent and I left Veritas, I decided that I wanted to reinvent and redefine what it meant to be a journalist in America. Because what we're seeing now, unfortunately, is this time where we're seeing a rise in communist and socialist values. We're seeing a rise in the acceptance of jihadist viewpoints. And unfortunately, those who speak truth, or those who have some sort of sanity left to them, are being silenced and shut out. And when I was first going independent, I'm 25, I went independent when I was about 23. I said, why are people so afraid to confront politicians? Why are people so afraid to walk up to these people and put a camera in their face and ask the questions that every single American has on their mind, right? I got sick and tired of watching Fox News every night and watching pundits who make millions of dollars every single year just talk about how much they dislike these politicians, just talk about what they would do if they had a moment to speak to them. And so I decided one day that I was going to go to a Hillary Clinton book signing. And I waited in line for 8 hours in New York City. And what I did is, when I got up to Hillary Clinton to get my book signed, I asked her what happened? I said, what happened in Benghazi, Hillary? What happened to your emails? What happened to Seth Rich? What happened to the millions of dollars that was supposed to go to the people in Haiti? And I live streamed this video, right? And it went absolutely viral. And it was at that moment when I was being asked to go on Fox News, and when the video was trending and it was receiving millions of views, that I realized the power of my voice as a citizen journalist, right? And all of you are citizen journalists. And what we need to understand is that, you know, we can dislike the fake news media in this country and the socialist and communist direction that it's headed in, but we have the power granted to us in the United States Constitution as Americans to be our own journalists. The First Amendment makes all of us our own journalists. And so through my work and through Lumered and my media company, Illuminate Media, that's what I hope to do, is to inspire Americans through my work to take back power and to let politicians all across America know that we don't work for them, they work for us. And so through my videos, which a lot of you have probably seen, it was called Getting Lumered, I was able to amass a following of about 265,000 followers on Twitter. And because my videos were so effective, I once chased Maxine Waters in the elevator in Congress and asked her if conservatives had to sit at the back of the bus. Because you all recall when Maxine Waters encouraged Democrats to go out and support assaulting Trump supporters. She didn't like that very much. I once confronted James Comey at a book signing, and I told him that he was going to get locked up and asked him why he briefed the President of the United States on an unverifiable and salacious dossier. And of course he ran away. You know, if I had $1 for every single time that I've been told, Miss, you need to leave, ma'am, you need to leave, or $1 for every single time I've been banned, you know, I'd be a very wealthy woman. But that's the thing, is because I was speaking so much truth and the American people were resonating with me and my message, these multi-billion-dollar tech companies decided that they were going to silence me and shut me down. And so, along with Alex Jones, who I would say is probably the most censored man in America, I would say that I myself am the most censored woman in America. Because these media companies, fake news media companies, and the establishment right and the establishment left, they realized how powerful my voice was. And so I, to this date, have been permanently banned on Twitter. I've been banned on Uber. I've been banned on Uber Eats. I literally cannot even order food delivery. I've been banned on Lyft, GoFundMe, Venmo, Medium, and PayPal. And so I can't even make a living on PayPal anymore, simply because I'm an American patriot and I care about my country, and I expose communists and leftists and their pro-Sharia agenda here in America. And what's interesting to me, when I look back on the reason why I was banned from Twitter, it was a tweet in which I said that Ilhan Omar, right? How many of you guys like Ilhan Omar? Yeah. Well, I spent a lot of time on the ground in Minnesota exposing Ilhan Omar, and I was the first journalist to really confront her when she was a candidate. And I got up in her face and I asked her, I said, you know, why do you hate Jews so much? I'm Jewish. I asked her, what is your problem with Israel? Are you going to represent the American people or just Muslim individuals, right? Why did you marry your brother? Why did you use your campaign finance fund to pay for your divorce from your brother, right? Why are you endorsed and campaigning with the Council on American Islamic Relations, CAIR, which is a designated Islamic terrorist organization? And this video, of course, went viral on social media, but I sent it. I sent it to all of the mainstream media networks, and I was told that they were not going to run the video.
Laura Loomer.
And I want you all to let this sink in, because if the mainstream media would have played that video, and if they would have listened to the concerned citizens of this country and citizen journalists who were exposing these jihadists and communist candidates who were then only candidates, we probably could have stopped people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez from getting elected. We could have stopped people like Ilhan Omar from getting elected. We could have stopped people like Rashida Tlaib, who is a member of a Holocaust denier Facebook page, from getting elected. But unfortunately, this is the trash we now have serving in the sacred halls of the United States Congress. Right? So do not think that just because you're Trump supporters and you're conservatives that Fox News is your friend, all right? You heard from Kevin earlier, they fire and they silence American patriots. You see what they did to Judge Jeanine Pirro? They suspended her for 2 weeks because she spoke truth about Ilhan Omar. Are we allowed to speak truth about Islam here in America anymore? No. It doesn't feel like it, right? Are we allowed to speak truth about the left and their dangerous communist socialist agenda without being shut down and silenced? What is happening in this country right now is an absolute travesty. You have these big tech social media companies colluding. Talk about real collusion, right? The real collusion that is taking place is with the Democrat Party and these big tech social media companies that are silencing and shutting down and restricting the speech and the voices of millions of hardworking American citizens who support President Trump and people in this country who have conservative values. People who believe in God, people who support our Constitution, people who say the pledge, people who love America. And if you say anything that goes against the left-wing agenda in this country, you are silenced. And that should truly terrify every single one of you here today. Because what has happened to me, the silencing and the censorship that has happened to me, will happen to you. It will happen to your kids, it will happen to your grandkids, until the left finally gains the power that they want. You know, I believe that President Trump is going to get elected in 2020. I believe he will serve another term. But, you know, you can only have a 2-term president in this country. Ask yourself, you know, what are we going to do when we don't have Donald Trump anymore, right? And so that is why it's up to all of us to take a stand and to rise up. And, you know, the left has their own resistance movement, and we need to have our own resistance movement.
Right, guys.
Right?
Yeah,
We need American patriots to resist the left, to resist these, you know, very destructive ideologies like Sharia law, which we are now seeing in the halls of our Congress, right? Did you ever think, you know, how many of you guys remember where you were when you saw 9/11?
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I was actually 8 years old, but I still remember where I was when I saw those towers fall. I still remember how it impacted our family and this country, and it shaped me into the person I am today. How many of you thought that when you saw those towers fall and you realized that that was the result of Islamic terrorists, that we would have a congresswoman serving in Congress 18 years later who defends members of ISIS, who supports Hamas, and who refers to 9/11 as something that some people did, right? It's an abomination, and it is up to us to help take our country back and to ensure that after Trump secures a second term and fulfills his second term, that we can still protect and preserve our country and the values that make us who we are. So thank you so much for hearing me out and for having me here today. I am completely independent. I've been shut down nearly everywhere, and so if you'd like to subscribe to my website, it's lauraloomer.us. You can subscribe and sign up for my emails. You can support my journalism there. And, you know, I am just so appalled by what is happening in my country that lately I've been feeling a real fire inside my heart to maybe even run for Congress. Because if these people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, with their anti-American values and promoting Sharia law from the halls of Congress, if they can get elected and serve, then so can I. So can I. So thank you so much. Thank you, and God bless America. Thank you.
Woo! Awesome.
Liberty. Okay, now this flashlight has some batteries in it. Our next guest is very difficult to get by phone, and she says I am. We've tried to call each other a couple of times and missed each other. And that's Marissa Hamilton. Marissa, where are you? There she is.
Will you take one for me? Of what? A picture. Yeah. Well, what do I do with this? Give me a shit.
Okay. Hi everybody, thank you so much for coming and for staying so late. You've taken time away from your families, and I really greatly appreciate it. It shows your love of country, and that's amazing. So please give yourself a round of applause. So I know that the light is dim now, but I came fully prepared for tax day. My dress says taxation is theft. And what I'm going to talk about today is about how do we as conservatives fight socialism. And it's something that I have fought for the last probably 10 to 15 years now as an activist that works on social welfare reform. Now, it's not a very popular topic, but it's something that makes a huge difference, because as long as America feels the pain of the current economic system that we have in place of socialism, then they will continue to push more towards more government to solve problems. Poverty is something that actually does exist, and it's something that a lot of people, especially now our seniors, are having to feel. But there's solutions to it. The interesting thing about socialism is that when I was looking at our current budget, 52%, more than half of our budget goes to social welfare programs. And only 15% goes to the military, goes to self-defense. Thank you. And constantly we hear that all of our money goes to self-defense. Well, that's just not true. We are at the point now that as we continue to increase those social programs, we are actually eating our own economy. And that is why taxation is theft. Because at the end of the day, the government didn't earn a single penny that they take from any of our paychecks. They didn't earn a single penny that our entrepreneurs go out and work hard and sacrifice and make sure that they make payroll every single month. Okay. But when it comes to the way that they spend money, they spend it in such an irresponsible fashion many times. And we look around and we have a looming homeless crisis happening in Arizona. We have a looming crisis when it comes to being able to take care of families for young people. We have a looming crisis when it comes to student debt. And socialism keeps saying, let's just get more government, that will solve it. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's eating our economy. It's not something that's going to solve anything. And you've heard from the previous speakers that have lived under socialism. It leads to starvation. It essentially is economic slavery. So how do we solve this? How have I fought this? Well, conservatives, what we can do is that we can step up and be the solution to our communities. And I know many of you volunteer and you donate, you serve at homeless shelters, you serve girls that are in crisis pregnancies, but we need to do more of that, because every single person's life that we touch, that we solve, it creates charity. Why is charity important over socialism? Well, socialism actually steals charity from us. When you have a transaction that's based on charity, that means
thank you so much for everything you do.
Is receiving back appreciation, love, and kindness for the relationship that they just created with that person. When it comes to socialism, it's just government taking your money by force and giving it to people that might be using the system fraudulently. And so it creates a system that ends up having results that don't appear to be very good. And so as we see more homelessness increase in our cities, we say, well, what is government doing about it? Because they've taken so much of our income, there's nothing left to help our neighbors. So I want to tell you a story. There's a girl that was that I'm going to change her name. Let's call her Kimberly. And I met Kimberly at our Crisis Pregnancy Center. Kimberly had been a victim of child sex trafficking. Her parents literally sold her as a sex slave so that they could make money. And that's what she grew up in. That's the environment she grew up in. She found herself as an adult then being addicted to that lifestyle and not knowing how to get out of it, but she became pregnant. And she didn't want to have an abortion. And so she reached out to her local crisis pregnancy center and said, please help me. And they connected her with a group that was able to help provide housing for her. And that's how I got connected with her, because I was helping these girls learn how to do job interviews.
We're out here at the Tea Party event, patriotism against socialism.
They didn't have to live off of government once they had their child.
We've had a pretty good turnout.
Because of that, Sarah ended up struggling a little bit when she had
Enough to introduce you. This is our booth.
What's going on? And so I got
This is our table. Oh, did a check out our chunk leg.
Round of applause. She did everything that she needed to. But she didn't stop there. And that is a line where poverty starts to disappear. She eventually went back to church. She met her really nice. That's all I can do now, right?
No, this is Laura.
Try to. In fact, my first destination is in June. I'm going to Spain to do field school in an old Roman fort. Well, that underwater too.
That's the difference between the story of socialism and the story of like Barbie and Ken. And when each one of us as much as we can to help our neighbors,
Jeremy.
Like, what's CRS? I can't remember shit. I can't even remember what CRS stands for.
Is it still going? Hey guys, I am taking a much needed break. Yes, Laura was with me, but I had to pass the camera off because I've been running the booth all night. Oh, Gimbal, come back to me. So we're here at the rally. It's been a long day. We've just been working. And yeah, we've signed people up on the request to speak system. We have signed people up to be precinct committeemen. We pumped out the radio show. We pushed out the brochure we did on who we are and what we do.
Anybody have an update on the Notre Dame Cathedral?
We got 2 donations.
It's the fire's out.
We didn't ask for them, but we got them, so there's that. And we're just chilling now. So now, hi Mike.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
So we're doing the political thing right now.
Today's interviewing came on.
Our booth was popping. Bye, good to see you.
Started implying that they thought it may have been because there's been attacks on Catholic churches.
Now we are just chilling.
A couple of weeks.
Show up, turn around and show up our shirts, guys.
We found out we're not gonna go that route.
Jeremy.
The big thing is though, is that like, so this is one of my classes. I've started to
Look at those beautiful shirts.
Florence.
Do a little dance. Do a little dance.
Best I can do right now.
White people can't dance.
Me, that old? Yeah, of course it's going to go up so fast.
They're embarrassing.
And I do this, that the rest of the community.
All right, guys, we are logging off. My phone's gonna die, and it's late and dark. So we are packing her up soon. So stay tuned. We'll see you on the border this weekend.